I made a team of players that were traded during the 2022 MLB trade deadline. This was a pretty wild trade deadline. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was like the best deadline ever. However, I think the biggest move, arguably one of the biggest moves in baseball history, went down, of course, with Juan Soto and Josh Bell being traded to the San Diego Padres for a few major league ready players, as well as a nice haul of prospects. That was easily the biggest move, man. Moving a guy like Juan Soto it's tough to do because you never really feel like you can get the actual value back for trading a guy like Juan Soto. You know what I mean? Now, I do think the Nationals did get a pretty good return back, you know, especially with them offering the extensions to Juan Soto and him turning it down. You knew that he wasn't going to be re-signing, at least until he was like a free agent. You had to take advantage of the fact that Juan Soto is on your team. You can get a massive haul of players back. So I think it was the right move for the Nationals. It does kind of suck for Nationals fans. I'm with you. But that is a crazy trade. Like, once again, Juan Soto's a generational talent. So to see a trade like that happen, you don't see that every year. Oh, what a pitch there, Castillo. That's another move that went down. That went down way before the trade deadline today. I think that was on Friday. The Mariners really set the tone for the trade deadline by picking up arguably the best starting pitcher on the market, Luis Castillo. The Mariners definitely had to give up a lot. They gave up Marte as well as a couple other prospects, and they are really going for it because at the end of the day, you never really know with a prospect. You can develop them and they can be producing at the lower levels, but you never really know how guys are going to adapt to major league pitching. And when you're a team that hasn't made the postseason in 2 decades, and you finally are in one of those positions to have a chance to make that playoff push, you got to take it. At some point, you got to let go of the prospects and you got to capitalize on the opportunity now. So if I'm the Mariners, I'm making that same move 10 times out of 10. There you go, Soto. Nice rip, buddy. Only going to be a single, though. That ball was hit so hard. I am a little surprised, though, that the Mariners didn't really do more than that. They definitely added some, like, smaller pieces, I think. But overall, like, if I was a Mariners fan, I'd be looking for a little bit more than just that starting pitching piece. I'd be looking for maybe an extra bat as well. I think the other biggest move of the deadline happened on Monday when the Padres, again, they were the team to... Oh, Soto? Attaboy Juan! Padres went out and bolstered their bullpen by getting Josh Hader from the Brewers. I thought that trade was really surprising. I mean, I get it from the Brewers' perspective where they need to make sure they remain competitive and they have a guy like Devin Williams. Josh Hader has been struggling a little bit as of late, but I mean, he's been so consistent for the past, what, 3-4 years now. I feel like he's probably gonna bounce back. I don't think he'll be that bad, you know, for the rest of the year or anything. That was another move that shocked me. Honestly, dude, the Padres won the deadline because even after they made the move for Josh Hader, after they made the move for Juan Soto and Josh Bell, they went out and they got Brandon Drury from the Cincinnati Reds. But yeah, Brandon Drury traded to the Padres as well. Dude, the Reds got so much young talent back in this deadline, man. They made a lot of moves and they got a lot of prospects. I'm hoping some of those guys develop quicker than expected because Reds fans, you know, they've been through some tough times the past few years. So I hope they can get a little bit of happiness with some of those guys that they got coming back. Robert Hassel? Robert Hassel? So yeah, I think the Padres obviously kind of won the deadline, you know, this year by getting Juan Soto and Josh Bell. But a team that I think had a really good deadline that almost kind of went under the radar was the Minnesota Twins. The Twins are in first place right now in the Central, and they're trying to hold off both the Cleveland Guardians and the Chicago White Sox. And I don't really know if the Guardians or White Sox really did anything to, you know, make themselves better. The Guardians really, did they even do anything? And then I think the White Sox are more, they're trying to like hope that they're fully healthy and then maybe they can make a push towards the division. And the Twins acquired 3 pitchers that are really going to help them out. They acquired Lopez, who was an all-star this year, don't forget. They got Michael Fulmer from the Tigers, who's been pretty solid. And, oh, that's not down. That sucks. And they got Tyler Mahle from the Cincinnati Reds. So they got another pitching piece. 3 really strong pitching additions for their team. And once again, the Guardians and the White Sox, did they really even do anything? Yes, give me that hit. Yes, give me the bloop. So yeah, I think the Twins had one of the better deadlines for sure. Now, you know I wasn't going to go this whole video without talking about my team, the Angels, because It was a roller coaster of emotions, this deadline. Shohei Ohtani's name was floating around there like, you know, a few days before they finally said, no, it's not going to be Ohtani. He's not moving. But they ended up making some moves that honestly, like, oh, what am I swinging at, bro? The Angels actually made some moves that I'm not mad about. I mean, you got Brandon Marsh going to Philadelphia for Phillies, I think, #3 prospect in their system, who's a catcher. It looks like he should be a stud. Not mad about that move at all. Plus, Philly definitely needs some help defensively in their outfield. The Angels made another trade with Philadelphia, sending Noah Syndergaard over there and getting, I believe, Mickey Moniak in return. That one I don't really care much for. But the one to me that's the most impactful is the fact that the Angels traded Raisel Iglesias to the Braves, and the Braves are going to be taking on that contract. Remember, the Angels extended Raisel Iglesias in the offseason for 4 years, and they gave him a large chunk of money. So getting that money off the books is actually like, that's pretty good for them, especially if they're planning on, you know, making a extension offer to Ohtani. If they're not trading him, they got to be thinking about possibly extending him, although that's going to be tough with Rendon's contract too. No matter what the Angels did or didn't do in this trade deadline, they're still kind of a mess. Oh, Benintendi? Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Yeah, Benintendi with an oppo bomb. Yankees fans gotta like that one. I think the Yankees had a pretty good deadline as well. They picked up Frankie Montas and Lou Trevino from the A's. I think both of those guys are going to help out their pitching pretty well. Montas was arguably the second best starter on the market, only behind Luis Castillo. But not only that, they did finally get rid of Joey Gallo. I feel like a lot of people kind of have the same idea about Joey Gallo, where it's like, you kind of feel bad for him. You want him to succeed, but it just was really obvious that it wasn't working in New York. I don't know if his talent level fell off. I don't know if it was the environment, the clubhouse, the stadium, the fans. I don't know what it was, but Joey Gallo in New York was just not a fit. Now, granted, he's still going to a big market. He's going over to the Dodgers, but you know what? Maybe a change of scenery is what that guy needs. The Yankees also traded away Jordan Montgomery to the Cardinals. Oh, what a swing there from Vasquez. Go, ball. Christian Vasquez, 2-run bomb the other way. Yeah, the Yankees traded Jordan Montgomery to the St. Louis Cardinals in exchange for Harrison Bader. Now, the thing is, Harrison Bader, I think, is he on the IL? I know he's dealing with some issue, I think, in his foot. That did kind of strike me as an interesting move. I'm not a Yankee fan. Oh, okay, Abrams. I'm not a Yankee fan, and I'm not a Cardinal fan, but to me, that move I just kind of felt a little odd. I don't know. Oh my God, Luis Castillo really has 2 hits in this game for me. The Mariners really won the deadline. Marte, dude, what a swing. Putting that in the perfect spot in the field. What other moves did we have go down during this deadline that were notable? You had the Red Sox trading Christian Vasquez to the Houston Astros. The Astros also got Trey Mancini from the Orioles. In the midst of all the Juan Soto stuff as well, the Red Sox ended up with Eric Hosmer. I mean, technically, the Red Sox did need a first baseman. I think actually one of the biggest moves of the deadline was one that didn't get made. Oh my God, look at Josh Bell. Look at that. Look at that play from Josh Bell. Yeah, the biggest surprise to me wasn't even Juan Soto being moved. It wasn't, well, maybe Josh Hader might have been a little bit more surprising to me, but the Cubs didn't move on from Contreras and Ian Happ. I just don't really get that move. Like, or I guess non-move. Oh, Benintendi, you already hit a home run. Let's take one away. Come on, dude. Oh my God, Benintendi's the GOAT. Yeah, if you're the Cubs, you're obviously not competing right now. Do you really have the core to compete, like, over the next few years? I mean, maybe you can argue Contreras and Happ, you can add some pieces around them and they can, you know, kind of build a core that way. But those guys don't even have extensions at the moment. So it's like, I just don't really get it from the Cubs' perspective. I feel like the Cubs could have made some moves to really help their future, but unless their future is Contreras and Happ, I just don't really get it from their perspective. Look at Brandon Drury, Padres legend. But I guess I passed the question on to you guys in the comments now. What do you think of the trade deadline? First of all, what do you think of this deadline as a whole? What grade would you just give, like, the excitement level, the weight of the trades that were happening? What grade would you give it? And then what grade would you give your team? If I had to rate this trade deadline as a whole, I would say, I mean, the fact that Juan Soto got moved in a big deal like that, one of the biggest trades ever in baseball history, it has to be at least like a B+. Hader getting moved, Castillo getting moved for a ton of prospects. I would give this trade deadline like, I don't know, maybe like a B plus, A minus, somewhere around there. And if I had to give a grade to the Angels, I would say probably like, I don't know if I could give it more than a C. I think it's a C just from the fact that we got Reisel's contract off the books. And for what it's worth, I love Reisel. I still love watching him pitch. He hasn't pitched as well this year as he did last year, but I'm still a fan of Raisel Iglesias. But if $60 million or whatever he was owed for the next 3 years of his contract was going to hinder the Angels' opportunities to do anything, it's the right move. So I think that move was fine. It really isn't even about what they got back. It's about them getting his contract off the books. Brandon Marsh for the Phillies catching prospect, I thought it was pretty good. I think it's a win-win for both teams. Marsh is in an already crowded outfield. The Phillies need outfield defense help. The Angels, they need help everywhere. The Syndergaard for Mickey Moniak move, though, I'm not really a huge fan of, because Mickey Moniak hasn't really hit that well at the big league level, and the Angels already have had that struggle with Joe Adell. So yeah, I mean, that one I'm not too crazy about. So I would say the Angels, for me, probably get like a C plus. I think they did make some additions by subtraction type of things, but I also feel like they kind of got things that they also didn't really good. Oh, Abrams, you're an absolute stud. Washington's gonna love you. I'm not gonna lie, if I was him, I probably would have done the same thing there.